Alright, welcome back. So, we're just going to move the obstacle and see how the path making updates itself. And this is going to be a short one, so let's begin. With the obstacle box that we had, what we did instead was we added a node dummy which has our path. So we could have used this, but I'm just going to use a new one. And what it does is inside this node dummy object, it has the obstacle box that we made and 2 points that we're going to move the object in. We're going to use the path maker and we're just going to connect these, which we did, and we said it'll take 5 seconds to move from one to the other and back in an infinite loop. The next thing we did was inside our enemy, our obstacle node became the object itself, so it holds everything here. And then we're going to just do small changes inside our code so we can see it update at runtime. The first thing we're going to do is I am going to put an object path pointer, so it's not a path. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to mute the path because we're not using it. It's just a waste of space. And we're going to add the object path right here, which we can technically just copy and paste this line. And instead of the path maker node, we're going to use the obstacle node because that's the one that has our path maker script in. Then we're just going to do an object path initialize the path. Alright, so with that done, the next thing we're going to do is get the obstacle box, and instead of the node, we're actually going to go into the child or into the tree and get the first child, which is going to be our obstacle box. So with that connected, the only few small changes we're actually going to do is literally going to be right here. We're just going to use these two lines, and instead of path, we're going to use object path. So I'm just doing a lot of copy pasting, but right here. Okay, with that, we now have object path, which moves along the path and moves the object. And then we also want to update our the pathing at runtime, because this we made sure that we only do this in initialization, so it's not really updated in runtime. So we can just control X this, right? And then we can move it into our update or into our AI state. It doesn't really matter. What we're going to do is we're going to move it into the AI state in idle, since we are currently idled for our object, and we got that. All right, so with that done, we're going to actually use this code next later on, do some logic with it, but for now, let's just check if this even works, right? So let's just save this, and I hope this works. All right, it looks like something's going on. Probably have the object stabbing through the nav. There we go. So as you can see, I have something else moving through the object. Let's just switch around here, and it's going to be right here. That's why it wasn't working, because it knew I was going to do something stupid. But let's just get that obstacle node right inside here. And all right, so now with the obstacle actually moving, you can see the path updating itself to change as our obstacle moves. And we can see that via runtime. With my FPS being 150, it's running pretty fast. I'm pretty sure everyone else has 152. So there you go. Now we have an object with an obstacle and the path, and it's moving. And now we also have an updated path render. That's it so far. The next thing we're going to do is actually move out, or maybe I'll do that off camera or like off recording, where I'll move out or take out that code of moving, the moving logic and the obstacle and the path logic outside of the AI, and just call it into the shooter AI class so it doesn't look so complicated the way I've written it. We already have like 200 lines, and most of it is probably better as components, something like this. And we'll refactor this. But until then, we got the basics down, and I think we're good for now. Oh yeah, that's a nice pathing. So you can also change the size of the pathing. So over here, after you create, you can say pathing 1 and then set radius. This will set the radius of the object that is supposed to be going from path 1 to 2. So if the object's too narrow or too fat, then it won't pass through the obstacle, or like it'll choose another way. So let's say if this is like 15 and your radius is 20, it's not even going to be here. It'll probably be here or something. But anyways, other than that, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.